Today we are going to discuss the Memorandum of Association. Memorandum of Association, the first step in the formation of company is to prepare Memorandum of Association. This is also known as the Constitution of the company. Memorandum of Association, that is known as also Memorandum of Association MOA, which is very important document for the registration of the company under the Companies Act 1956. Without Memorandum of Association, a company cannot be registered under the Companies Act 1956. Maybe it is a private company or maybe it is a public company. Memorandum of Association is compulsory for every type of company. Memorandum of Association, that is, no company can be registered under the Companies Act 1956 without the Memorandum of Association. Under Section 2, Subsection 28 of the Companies Act 1956 define the memorandum means the Memorandum of Association of the company as originally framed or as altered from time to time in pursuance with any of the previous company law or the Companies Act 1956. Memorandum of Association is the fundamental document of a company. Memorandum contains the fundamental condition upon which the company is allowed to be incorporated. These are some fundamental conditions upon these contents upon which a company is required or company is to be registered under the Companies Act 1956. It is the charter of the company and define its power. Memorandum of Association defined the objective and scope of the company. The main purpose of the memorandum is to inform the shareholders, creditors, and other dealing with the company. Contents of memorandum, which is defined under the Section 13 of the Companies Act 1956. There are six clause or there are six condition. We can say that there are six condition upon which a company is allowed to be registered under the Companies Act 1956. The first one is the name clause, register clause, object clause, liability clause, capital clause, or last one is the association clause. Name clause, which is defined under the Section 13, subsection 1, para A. Memorandum must state the name of the company with the limited as the word in case of the public limited company and with the private limited in case of the private limited company. The company is free to choose any name, but it must not be undesirable or must not resemble the name of any other registered company. A company are free to choose any types of name to be registered under the Companies Act 1956, but there are some guidelines or there are some rules and regulations or there are some restrictions to choose the name of the company. Second clause, that is the registered office clause. We can say it is a situation clause also. Section 13 subsection 1 para B of the Companies Act 1956 define the state in which the registered office of the company will be situated is mentioned in this clause. The registered office of the company is the official address of the company where the statutory books and record must normally be kept. That is the registered office of the company. Third or most important clause of the company's of Memorandum of Association, that is the object clause. This clause is quite important and must be very carefully drafted and is determine the activities of the company. In the object clause, each and every detail of the activity of the business to be carried out must be laid down. This clause contains the object for which the proposed company is to be formed. It is the most important clause of the memorandum and must be drafted in the clear and definite terms. Memorandum, in case of the Memorandum of Association, a company cannot be registered without object clause and company cannot go beyond their object clause. The object clause may be divided into three sub-clause, namely main object, object incidental or ancillary, or third one is the other object. The main object, this sub-clause contains the main object of the company to the pursued on its incorporation. We can say that is the immediate object of the company which is to be fulfilled by the company after the registration under the Companies Act 1956. Object incidental or ancillary. This clause say it covers the object which are incidental or ancillary to attend the main object of the company. Other objects, the subclause will cover any object which are not included in the main object all the types of object or activity we can merge or we can write over the other object. The fourth, that is the liability clause. This clause states the nature or liability of the members of the company. The fact that liability of its member is limited must be made absolutely clear. In case of a company limited by share, the liability of a member is limited to the nominal value of the share held by them, which is defined in the section 13, subsection 2. In case of the company limited by guarantee, the liability clause must state the amount which every members undertake to contribute to the assets of the company in the event of its winding up. Fifth clause, that is the capital clause, which is defined in section 13 under subsection 4, para A. This clause states the amount of the capital with which the company is to be registered. This clause should also state the number and face value of the shares, equity share or maybe the preference shares, into which the capital of the company is divided. In case of the private company, this amount is minimum 1 lakh. That is, in case of the public company, this amount is the 5 lakh rupees. A last one, that is the association clause. This clause contained the name of the signatories of the Memorandum of Association. The subscriber declared that they desire to be formed into a company and agree to take the shares stated against their names. The name, address and occupation of the subscriber and witness are also given. The memorandum has to be signed by the at least 7 subscriber in case of the public company and by at least 2 subscriber in case of the private company. The signatories of each subscriber must be attached by at least one witness who cannot be any of the other subscriber.